Forrest Gump is an extremely pure human being. He's not poisoned by any sort of cynicism. But because of that, it can be taken as a great naivete. He only knows three things. He knows about God, he knows about his mama, and he knows about the woman that he loves, Ginny. And after that, he needs nothing else in order to keep him going.
Now, maybe it's just me, but college was very confusing times.
Have you ever been with a girl, Forrest?
I sit next to them in my home economics class all the time.
Now, I assume that you made Forrest Gump before the Oscar. Would you have done it after the Oscar?
I would have leapt at the chance to play Forrest Gump, regardless of any film that I'd had in my background or any trophies or plaques. I saw a chance to do something that was, to make an epic motion picture.
Go! What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
You're a damn genius. You are going to be a general someday, go.
Yes, drill sergeant!
Where you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
You twins?
No, we are not relations.
Well, this has been a memorable year with you winning the Oscar. Did you expect to win it because everybody else thought you would?
You know, I'm not quite a jaded show business professional yet, but I know how it works. I knew I had a good shot.
Well, I felt you must be fairly confident because that now famous speech of yours sounded extremely well rehearsed for a spontaneous speech.
You notice that I did ramble on for about 3 minutes. I read somewhere later on that I had like the longest speech, which should tell you that it wasn't as well rehearsed as you might think.
Do you get any feeling that once you've won it, that this is it? It can't get better than this. From now on, it must be all downhill.
You could make the joke that, well, now that I've won the coveted statuette, the next thing for me is infomercial oblivion. You could assume that. But instead, I'll just think that I'm a relatively young guy. I have a body of work behind me that I think is actually somewhat ever-changing, and I will forget about it after 2 weeks. I pretty much have, although everybody who comes by my house does want to hold it and get a Polaroid of it. So I let them do that, and that's actually the prominence that it has in my household now.
Well, your career, like most actors, has had its ups and downs. It hasn't been all success. There have been very good films like Splash and Big, followed by not such good films, such as The Money Pit or The Burbs. How have you managed to survive? You know, the story is, well, you're only as good as your last movie. That's not really true. You're only as good as that last movie that did well. And so you better come up with another one of those pretty soon. Otherwise, they might begin to take it away from you. So you must, at this moment, feel pretty secure about the present and the future.
What's going on right now is that my work is in a really nice place, and my home life is in a very nice place, and as one gets older, that will shift. I could leave here and you know, I won't say I'd get killed in a car wreck, but you know, I could leave here and suffer a shoulder injury that would make it hard to get up out of bed every morning. We know how that works. Right now, I don't have anything like that, so I do consider myself to be very lucky.
It's a nice note to end on. Thank you very much indeed, Tom.
What, the car crash then?
No, considering yourself very lucky.
Oh, okay, very good, all right.
I mean, we'll end with the car crash if you prefer it.
No, whatever you want to do, whatever you think is best for your viewers.
I think we'll spare him the car crash. Now, apart from many other qualities it might possess, Forrest Gump, directed by Robert Zemeckis, contains some quite astonishing special effects. How do they do that, you wonder? No good asking Desmond Lynam because he doesn't know. But we do. Here, for example, is how Forrest Gump shook hands with the president and learned to play table tennis as it has never been played before.
As great a ping pong player as Tom Hanks is, he's not as good as what Forrest has to become, so we did that using movie magic. You have the actors mime playing ping pong, and then you put the ball in later optically.
Come on up, charge up, Tom.
We had to have a metronome so that each character would know when to strike the ball.
Our job is to create this ball, which is just a computer-generated image. This was a particularly hard shot because we had an extreme scale change here where the ball is going way off into the distance. So we were trying to study Tom's stroke. Well, he's definitely putting topspin on it, so we've got to, make sure that the ball, has this particular bounce. And it looked like Valentino was returning with slice. So we came up with this final product, and it actually works pretty well. It really looks like they're going whole hog on this.
For some reason, ping pong came very natural to me. I was so good that the Army decided that I should be on the All-America ping pong team. We were the first Americans to visit the land of China in like a million years.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
To create a scene with the real JFK, what we had to do is wade through hours and hours of historical footage of JFK to see if, in fact, there was anything that came close to what was in the script. And it just so happened that we found footage of him in the Oval Office meeting with football players.
Here is some of the original archive footage of John F. Kennedy. And what we have to do is, when this woman crosses in front of John F. Kennedy, we've got to get rid of her and put in Tom Hanks.
Show Tom how it's going to actually work. That's going to be you, right? You're standing there, and then, nope, you're out of sync, right? And that's how we're going to do it, right?
Roughly how we're going to do it.
Do you believe it?
How am I supposed to do that?
Action and pause. And shake, 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 and pause.
Cut. That was a very good one.
Excellent.
Now, no matter what we did, his hands wouldn't end up in exactly the right place. And shake, 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 and
But
pause.
can you get his hand in his hand?
So one of the other things we have to do is we have to adjust his hand and make it fit in exactly so that he makes solid contact.
Because we're sort of morphing his chin down over his shoulder that we're getting.
We're doing a lot of augmentation to these shots so that it feels like Tom is really in the actual archival footage. So we're degrading his image and adding the scratches, the pops, the things that really look like the older footage. So I really like how this works.
They're not just standing together, they're touching each other, shaking hands, interacting, and then also having a conversation.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
It's a bit alarming what they can make politicians say now, isn't it? Forrest Gump opens next week.